Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harv's World for an impromptu Friday night. That's right, impromptu Friday nights. What are impromptu Friday nights? Impromptu Friday nights. Well, it could be impromptu anytime. It just happens to usually fall on a Friday, and that's because that's when I've got a little bit of time that I take for myself, and I just want to frickin' play the game and not have to worry about anything. And rather than play by myself, I figured I'd share it with all y'all. And I'm always surprised by how many people jump in on these things. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's nice to have a little bit of company, even though I'm just playing to play. So we've got Bradley Smith. Nice to see you made it to one, man. These don't happen every Friday, but sometimes they do. Just depends. Kevin, too cool. Fog is bad, so you'll be lurking and listening. All right, too cool. Yeah, be safe always, man. I know, I know you're driving while these are going on, so be safe, bud. David Smith, nice to see you, man. Steve M, how you doing? Yeah, we got a good little group starting out. Um, this farm has progressed quite a bit since the last time you saw me. Although I literally haven't had a chance to play just to play for about a week and a half, so I am currently driving a completely 100% owned Fendt 1050. The first one I've had on any. No, that's not true. I almost said on any FS22 map, but I do have the one for the World Tour that goes everywhere with me, so I do have one on Hope Baler on. I would have been lying. Outstanding, David. That's the way to do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. And yes, you are likely to get 80s references, movie references, any kind of references. And I'm counting on you guys to keep the chat lively. I really am. It's been a long week. A very long week. So what's everybody been up to? You guys happy to be going into the weekend? God knows I am. It couldn't get here fast enough. Luckily, because some guy named Martin Luther King did a bunch of amazing things back in the 60s that people thought were really cool, I get an extra day off on Monday. So thank you, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr., to be exact. We wouldn't want his father to get upset. Nate, too, how you doing? Welcome to a Harv's World Friday Night Impromptu. Just playing to play, man. Got to get my grass mowed. It's September. And I've been relying on grass bale sales to bring in most of my cash up until now, but it's done me well, so hopefully I can get another 150 or so before December or January gets here. Sadly, that is the truth of it. So what's the good? Who's got something good? Is there a good story you can tell me from this week? Something uplifting and positive. I could use some positivity these days, I'll tell you. You know, keep your content creators in mind, guys. I'm not just speaking for myself. You know, we come on here and we try to present a positive image and a positive outlook, and things aren't always positive. So just keep that in mind when you dislike something or whatever. You know, your content creators are humans too. We're not always at our peak, even though we try to present that. Oh, Bradley, 150 mile move. I hope that's a good thing for you, man. Hope it's a big positive. Moving isn't easy. I just did a 2,000-mile move at the end of last July, and that was interesting. Are you from the U.S., Bradley? You don't have to tell us where you live, but people usually let us know their state or their country, just so we get an idea. We have quite the diverse audience. Oh, okay, good to know, David. Hey, Mervin. Doing as well as could be expected. All things considered, could be better, could be worse. Trying to look on the bright side of life, if you know what I mean. Me and Monty Python. And yes, I'm driving across a freshly planted field. I believe it's canola. Or no, no, it's wheat. It's definitely wheat. How are you doing, Marvin? Things going good for you, man? I'm going to see if I can get some GPS working for me so that I can get some reasonably straight rows for making my bales. Outstanding. Good to hear it, man. Good to hear it. Hey, Chris. How are you doing, man? Can't even remember my hotkeys right now. Oh, that's because I'm being an idiot. Yes, I already hit that hotkey. It didn't need to be hit a second time. Durr. Harv? You haven't had that many banquets yet. Yeah, Life of Brian's pretty good. I'm a Holy Grail guy though. I'll be honest. The Holy Grail is the one that got me for going for Monty Python originally. And I really like The Meaning of Life. There's some fantastic songs in The Meaning of Life. And that one gets overlooked. You don't see it pop up too often. But it does crack me up. Maybe so. The audience is ready for football. Harv is not a sports guy, so I don't have anything against sports. It's just never been something I was really that into. But I know I'm one of the few. I know it's a big deal. Harley, how are you doing, Harley? Yeah, I think you have to have a slightly different sense of humor to enjoy Monty Python. I know plenty of people who don't enjoy Monty Python. Well, we all know that the meaning of life is 42, right? So went to a Broncos game with his boss. Cool. I'll tell you a true story. I was at, and this would have been in the late 1980s. I was at the opening day game, It was, I believe it was the Minnesota Vikings and it was the Buffalo Bills, and we were at Buffalo Bills Stadium in New York. I was in my college marching band. I was a French horn player, and they asked us to do their halftime show and opening ceremony. So we did the national anthem at the beginning, and I'll tell you what, man, if you've never been to a pro football game, standing on the 50-yard line or anywhere in the middle of the field at the beginning of the game playing the national anthem. Now, we were no small band. I mean, we could blow our lungs out. And I was playing as loud as I could, and I could not hear my own horn a foot away from my ears. The crowd was that loud. It's insane how crazy it gets. Hey, Corey Lewis, how you doing? Good to have you. Yeah, sports fans are exuberant, to say the least. Very, very exuberant. It was a good time, though. It was college. And then that's all I got to say about that. There may have been a little bit of questionable behavior. We didn't get arrested, though. We didn't get kicked out of Canada. We did get to see Niagara Falls. Chris, Monty Python is a British comedy troupe from the 70s and 80s. They have some very famous movies if you grew up in that era. The most famous is The Holy Grail. You kind of have to have a little bit of a different sense of humor to really jive with what they put out there. Yeah, I also remember standing on the sidelines at our home field in Indiana, and it was cold. It was like November, and it might have been like 45 degrees or something. And for one reason or another, our home football team had invited the Dallas Cowgirls to perform, and they came to our home field. And if you know who the Dallas Cowgirls are, they don't exactly wear a lot of clothing for their costumes. And we're in full band uniforms, wool jackets, the whole 9 yards. And literally, like, there's two, they're marching all over the field. And there's two of them that came up and are like standing like 5 feet away from me, right in front of me. And I just looked at my buddy standing next to me, and I said, man, and I thought I was cold today. And they're out there with big smiles on. So, oh, the good old days, right? And Chris, it's Monty, M-O-N-T-Y, Monty Python. Apparently they love spam. And how's Lifehawk doing tonight? Surviving? Getting your daughter ready to be married? I hope after this year on this map I can get out of the grass business. But to be fair, the last time I sold grass it was like $700,000. So 200. You know, we were talking about this the other day. In FS22, there's no industry for potatoes. Like, they've got a cereal factory. Why couldn't they put, like, a potato chip factory in? No industry for potatoes except pig feed. Ready to go to an island with no talk of marriage or people. Sounds reasonable to me. Oh, okay. So don't ask about your daughter's wedding. I got it. Moving right along. You should call Adam Sandler. He knows a thing or two about weddings. You could get him to be your wedding singer. Oh, wait, we were moving along, weren't we? There you go, David. Yeah, exactly. They wear as little as they can legally get away with. That's exactly right. Did I just miss a big spot? I sure did. That's weird. Oh well, I'm not going back for it. Because that's the way people are. Literally. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's always like that. And the thing that I find worse than that is why is the answer always repeating the same thing 5 times? Like, I got it the first time. Why are you telling me this 3 more times? Seriously. I barely needed to know it the first time. This hill is so steep that with these mowers, even the Fendt 1050 is struggling. Oh, 74. I mean, it's been getting up into the high 40s here all week, but even that's not, because it's like 25 in the morning when I get up to go to work. I would kill for 74. Not literally. That's a figure of speech, guys. You know, you can't be too careful in the world these days with what you say, right? Oh, a horsepower boosting mod. I'm still amazed at how fast so many mods have come out for 22. I guess people learned their lesson in 19 and they're like, man, we got to get on this bandwagon right here and now. Eric, how you doing, man? All I have to do is move to Texas. Well, that sounds great, except I just moved 2,000 miles, so I'm not really up for another big move. Although one of my favorite books is about Texas. Oh, I've still got a bale sitting down here from last time. Left behind. Yeah, I think they've actually whittled that down. Caveman was checking yesterday, and he said they were at about 1,100 left. His mods are still pending. So that's a good thing, right? You know, as long as they're pending, that means they haven't been rejected. Oh, so you can have all the snow. Keep all the snow. Every bit of it. I like the fact that I can see snow on the mountaintops from where I live, and that's where I want it to stay. If I want snow, I'll drive up there and check it out. Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that, Kevin, and I'm sorry to say I have not. I will before I will make you this promise. I will do it before Sunday. I get so wrapped up in the things that I'm doing. No excuses. There's no excuse for it. You'll have to remind me which song, because did you play on the whole CD, or was that? I thought you told me you were on one song, but maybe I was wrong about that, because it's been a while since we talked. And I do still need to talk to you. It's a good thing. It's a good talk. Oh, Mayflower? Wow, that's hardcore. That's like moving every day for 3 months. You surely you weren't a driver if you were just working summers, so that means you must have been a lumper of some kind. Unloader. Anybody who doesn't know what a lumper is, and a lumper is a professional unloader of semi trucks. As strange as that may sound, that it is a real job title. You pull into some place and decide whether you want to hire a lumper or not, depending on how many hours you've got left on your logbook. Track 2, got it. I will do that before Sunday, I promise you. What are you talking about, Eric? The Sierra Mountains are nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I'm not going to say they're the Rockies or anything, but the Sierras aren't exactly tiny. And I've been across every group of mountains from the East Coast to the West Coast in the United States. They had 220 inches of snow up there in December, which was desperately needed, by the way, because the drought here is so terrible. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, David. Yeah, you know, I was primarily a Western United States driver when I drove a truck. The company I worked for was based in Montana, and we used to go back east to the Appalachians, and you know, we're used to driving serious mountain roads. You get into the Appalachians, I mean, they're hilly, but they feel like just another bump in the road because we're used to driving the Rockies and stuff. So, you know, we're hauling over these mountains. You know, we're not slowing down. We're doing 50, 60, whatever our trucks would do. And these East Coast drivers would get on there like, you better slow that down, you're gonna blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, you tell me when you see a mountain, because all I see are foothills. Because when you used to, I used to drive the I-70 across Colorado frequently, at least once a month, over Eisenhower Pass. It climbs up to 11,000 feet and then drops back down again. So, a 4,000 foot mountain pass in North Carolina was nothing. It's all relative. Come on. Come on, Fat. One more good pull. Well, that didn't take too long. Now comes the tedious part. Baling. Not at all, Chris. What you do have to do is click the check mark under the rules to indicate that you have read and agree to them. And once you do that, everything, all the channels and everything should be open to you to do what you want with. Come in and join us, chat, whatever. Talk to Lifehawk. He talks to everybody. He's the chattiest person on there. I don't get to spend that much time in Discord, at least not just being chatty. But that's really a tool for the community, something for you guys to use to get together. Oh yeah, I've got sheep and chickens now. I don't know if you guys had seen that before. We'll look around the farm and see how it's expanded. I think you know all of the fields. Well, those of you who've been on impromptus before. Don't get rid of that grass bale. And we need to switch to 150s because I was doing straw last. That's right. Okay, that should fix us. Yeah, but so yeah, with a forage trailer, yes, you can increase your yield using the silage additive. That's absolutely true. But the thing that I like is that with my bale trailer, I can haul several 100,000 liters of silage. And I'm not going to find any trailer of any kind that will allow me to haul that much silage at one go. So, it's a give and take. You do get more silage with the silage additive. I know there are people out there who are working on making balers that use that silage additive to increase yield as well. Base game, it's only on forage wagons. So it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish or what you need to do. Because the less trips I have to take to sell silage, the better I like it. Hey, Joseph Pope, welcome to the stream. Good to have you with us, man. Thanks for joining in. Now, that's a fair point, too, Lifehawk. Sometimes I find doing bales very relaxing. Other times I just want to get them done. Right now I just kind of want to get them done. Addicted? I wouldn't say addicted. I'm addicted to efficiency is what I'm addicted to. That's the absolute truth. So anything that over the long haul gets more done with less time spent, I'm happy to work with. Within a certain realm of realism. Oh, I have not played with the cow barns yet. Do the cow barns not take bales? Because just about every other animal pen does. Now, I will say I have been considering the bale, the constant bale, the constant wrap from Anderson. That is something I've been toying with because it takes larger bales than what the baler will wrap. So I am thinking about adding that to my repertoire of making silage. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depending on who you are and what you like to do, the best, most consistent money right now in FS22 is grass, as far as I'm concerned. Especially just starting out. Man, this is really freaking producing today. I mean, I can barely drive 30 yards before it's cranking out another bale again. Okay, David, I wasn't aware of that. I was curious. Yeah, because it's got those bins that you have to fill up, right? So it pulls from the bins for the robot feeder. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, well, that's the nature of the beast, man. That's the nature of the beast when it comes to animal pens. The base game always holds a few, and the modded ones are the ones you really want if you're going to get into a serious cattle operation. Mr. Bale, just move. Just get out of the way. Go. Don't do it. Don't do the snake. What's wrong with the snake? I tested it. I kind of liked it. Three cheers for Adolphus Coors. Hip hip hooray. Times 3. Now what I really want is a round baler that will wrap without me having to stop for it. I want a double chambered round baler. Oh, well, if I was going to do it, I would stream it. It would most likely happen on Elm Creek. Well, you're going to see some serious Bale action on Elm Creek on Sunday. The Sunday stream, we're finally about to turn a corner on Elm Creek. Things are going to get lively. And on Sunday on Elm Creek, we have our first guest appearance. One Bradley Powell will be joining us on stream. He was one of our raffle winners, raffle winners, who won a spot to join us on stream for a session. So we're definitely looking forward to that. It should be interesting. Work on contracts does not add to stats for the land plowed and etc. Huh. I would have sworn that the more contracts you could do on a field before it's harvested, the better chance you had of getting a good, profitable harvest, so you had plenty left over to sell on your own. Bex has a double chambered round baler. I always told Bex, and I said this to her many times, I said, Bex, you really need a motto, and your motto should be bigger, better, faster, more. Because Bex makes great mods, but they are not for the faint of heart. If you're looking for realism, you do not want Bex mods. I don't get to do any of the cool stuff. I don't get to hang out in Discords much anymore. I mean, literally, if I'm not working at work, I'm working on something related to YouTube. Chris, Sundays are always at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And if you forget, if you look at the About tab on my YouTube channel, I've got my schedule posted there. Oh, outstanding, Mervin. What do you think so far? Love it, hate it, or still trying to decide? There you go. Life is short. Bex mods aren't. No, Bex at one time had a modded rig in FS19 where you could literally, without a direct drill, mind you, fertilize, cultivate, seed, fertilize, and probably, oh wait, no, it started by harvesting the field. So it was a harvester that was attached to probably like a straw baler, and then it had all of the other equipment behind it, like in one big long chain. So you were harvesting and fully replanting the field all at the same time. Yeah, I'll come back and clean you up later, grass. This is the little grass field, mind you, and look at all the frickin' bales laying around. Oh, thank you, David. I need to go back and update that, don't I? Oops. How is that unrealistic? Yeah, that's not unrealistic at all. Of course it's not. What am I thinking? Yeah, there you go. Every famous rich person you can think of. Harv, pay attention. Oh, it's Friday night. Thank God it's Friday night. See if I can't clean some of this up before I head up the hill. Who wants to be realistic when you can have a TARDIS? Well, that's fair. That's very fair. But I always thought Doctor Who was a real person. Isn't Doctor Who real? Although I might be the odd man out because my favorite Doctor Who was always the guy with the really long scarf. And he hasn't been around for a long, long, long time. Ages. I'll tell you what, if somebody could put in a switch to turn off that beeping sound on your baler when it's almost full, that would be a mod that I would love. Turn off the warning buzzer on balers and forage wagons. Only the Time Lords know, that's right. And they're busy doing the time warp. Again. After all, it's just a jump to the left. And then a step to the right. Put your hands on your hips. Alright, that's enough of that. Harv, stop talking about old stuff. You're confusing the young people. Alright, I'm not worrying about these little bits of grass. I'm going up the hill. That's a fair assessment too, cool. Bex understands the concept that time is money. That's absolutely fair, Life Hawk. Yes, Tim Curry should have been on the best character actor list. Do the hokey pokey. Man, I haven't heard of the hokey pokey in a long, long time. Not since I think uh, roller skating rinks were a popular place to hang out. Because if you ever went roller skating, they always had to do the hokey pokey to see if you could do it without breaking your neck. Disco Daleks. Yeah, I don't think they call them that anymore. That's like a 70s and 80s. Or that's definitely the 7. Discotheques are from the 70s for sure. This is and always will be the downside of round bale wrapper or round balers is you have to stop to unload them. Even when they auto eject, you have to stop. Oh, toward achievements. Okay. I think I misunderstood what you were saying originally, Eric. I don't remember what it took for me to get the contract achievements in 19. I know I've got all the achievements, but it's been so long I have no clue. They should have a soda stream with whiskey bottle attacher. Because you do want to skip a step. Just cut right to the chase. For me, it would be a rum bottle, but still. Pro tip and PSA. Public service announcement. Do not put your whiskey bottle in your soda stream. I will try to remember that. I still think you should be able to, though. I think that's a design flaw in the soda stream. I don't know why I wasn't doing this before. The only issue I have with 22 contracts is that we have all the same contracts we had in 19, but there are many more stages to preparing a field now that we could be doing contracts on, like mulching, rolling. Where are the snow contracts in the wintertime? Right? I mean, come on. Expand the contract thing. And I thought in 19 I was thinking about this and I thought, man, it would be really, really cool if there was some kind of a reputation system. So, you know, the more contracts you did, the better your farming community and the locals would like you. So maybe you'd get paid a little bit more, have first dibs on premium contracts, that kind of thing. I thought that would have been a really cool added feature, and then somebody told me that they actually did have something like that in FS17 and they took it out. So, things that make you go, huh. The driver didn't know who Too Cool is, so Lifehawk punched him out. You're getting violent in your own old age, Lifehawk. Hey, Cameron. Case IH Magnums are huge. Oh, I don't doubt it. The Grand Nagus. How are you doing, man? I don't think I've seen you in before. I appreciate you joining up with us tonight. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, and I for the life of me can't tell you what's happening with that, Eric. Like I said, I don't even remember what I did to finish the 100 contracts. Yeah, some kind of a rating system. I would call it a reputation system. You know, farmers have reputations in their local communities. If they're a good farmer, a bad farmer, whatever. I've never placed an order with UPS, to be honest. I've had my orders shipped by UPS. I don't quite understand that, Eric, because you can't do a contract on land that you own. That's kind of what makes them a contract. You're doing it for somebody else, right? So, am I missing a step here? And if you can't order from UPS anymore, I can guarantee you it's because Too Cool turned you in. Too Cool said if you see any orders coming through from that Lifehawk guy, watch out. Yeah, I've been missing grass all over the place up here. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Hey, Bandit, how you doing, man? Oh yeah. Yeah, Too Cool has that name Too Cool, but I'm not sure that I buy it all the time. Right? Random doorbell rings. That sounds something very UPS-ish. And time's getting away from me here. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll be pretty happy to let this just get turned back into a meadow at some point. I mean, don't get me wrong, this field has made me a lot of money, but yeah, me and grass are on the outs at this point. With their fancy schmancy brown shorts. There's a limit on how many bales you, if you're playing on console, I would think, but not on PC. I've never run into a bale limit, and I've had 700 bales. Oh, good, Bradley. Good. Glad to hear you're excited about it. I mean, that makes a world of difference. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Plowing 100 hectares? Yeah, you definitely have to own the land to get that one. That's plowing your own land, not anybody else's. This is the biggest bale you can do for silage, or have with an auto wrapper. The 5,500 liter bales are the biggest you can do silage and have them wrapped. The way that this baler works. I can do them in 180 centimeter bales, but that means I've got to buy special wrapping equipment. There's more than a few. The last time I sold bales on this map, I think I sold 180 last January, something like that. You haven't even seen the straw bales I've got left over from harvest. One thing that I can tell you, round bales will hold more liters of grass than square bales. The largest square bale of grass you can get is 6,500 liters. The largest round bale of grass you can get is 7,500. Okay, if you're playing on Xbox, Cameron, yeah, that's why. That has always been an issue, even in FS19. It's not as bad now as it was. But yes, they've always done limits on the consoles. I know us PC players get all the fancy toys and the consoles get stiffed. It's not our fault, man. We're just PC players. Yeah, I'll be picking up bales for a few minutes. It'll be a heck of a lot quicker than doing the actual mowing and baling, though. That's alright. Like I said, you know, Friday nights are impromptu stream. It's just when I get to play for fun. I just come on, I play my thing, and it's more about hanging out with you guys, having some respectable conversation, and relaxing after a long frickin' week. With banquet number 4, just cracking the top. Oh, fair enough, Bradley. I don't stack bales, man. I have not picked up one single bale with any kind of a loader since I started playing FS22, and I have done thousands of bales. Thousands of bales. Stupidly, thousands of bales. because the Anderson Equipment Company, a lovely U.S. company, by the way, has some fantastic Bale equipment that makes my life very, very simple. Come on, Fent, pull that hill. Pull, 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 pull. Feels like I'm driving a UPS truck all of a sudden. Oh. And besides, the key to stacking round bales is to lay them on their side. They're too roly-poly otherwise. No, that's exactly right, David. It's not Giant's fault. The limitations on consoles are basically because of either the way they're manufactured or the manufacturer's restrictions. That's why consoles generally don't get scripted mods, because the console makers themselves prohibit their consoles from accepting scripts. It is much better in 22 than it was in 19, though. Consoles got a big leg up in 22 because their slot count went from like 1260 up to triple on older consoles, and I think it quadrupled on the newer consoles. Oh yeah, that's simple, Lifehawk. That would be so easy to just do some terraforming. Right. You know, I think in the back of our minds we have all, jokingly mind you, wondered about your sanity at times, but that statement right there assures me that you, sir, have far too much whiskey in your soda stream. Maybe when I get around, I'm up against a wall, man. I don't have time to test and play with every mod anymore like I did in the early days of FS19 when the channel was just getting started. Unfortunately, my real job takes up a huge portion of my time these days. And anything beyond that is kind of gravy. So, all the information that you guys posted, Lifehawk posts a ton of information on the Discord about mods coming out and general information. That is all incredibly helpful because I just don't have the time anymore. I think I was saying on the Wednesday stream, I'm like, I don't even get to watch YouTubers play anymore. Like, I don't have the time. I need 87 hours in a day. The rap never runs out, Eric. Although in 19, wasn't it the Straw Harvest mod pack that Giants put out? You could actually run out of baling wire, so you had to restock your balers with baling wire from time to time. I don't know if that included wrap though, but I'm pretty sure the baling wire would run out. I'm not a player who needs that level of realism in my gameplay, but there are plenty of people who do. Not to say that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's not me, and I just I just bailed a whole row that didn't pick up. Ohio has several chips companies already, so I've got an X. And even if she knew about this channel, I doubt she'd ever watch it, which is fine by me because anyway, we'll leave it at that. But she lived in Indiana since she was about 16 years old, right? But she always thought Ohio was like the greatest place since sliced bread because that's where she was born and where her grandma lived. Now, at this point, she's in her 50s. Still talks about how Ohio is such a great place. Mind you, she lives 45 miles from the Ohio border and never once made any effort to move back there. So I'm like, if Ohio is such a great place, why did you never move back there? And of course, that's a question there's no answer to. But still, it's just like, I don't know. I wonder about people sometimes. That's who I am. Will Horsley. Hey, thanks for dropping in, man. Hey, Harv, just wanted to say hey and thank you for introducing me to FS. I watched your beginner's tips a month or so before 22 came out. And now I play 22 to unwind after work every day. Will, thank you, man. Thank you so much for dropping in and letting me know that you're another one of my, we'll call you guys recruits. The people who have gotten into Farm Sim thanks to my little tutorial on Ravensport. There are many, many at this point. It's kind of my claim to fame, if I have any fame whatsoever. And Sparky, that's exactly right. Sparky, how are you, man? Good to see you. Glad you're able to join us. Me and Jessica Rabbit. I am not famous. I'm just drawn that way. I really need a bigger baler. Because, man, I feel like I'm just barely turning around and all of a sudden I need to unload. I could live with being infamous. I mean, all the girls like the bad boys, right? So infamous is a positive if you're a guy. You want to be infamous. Oh, chips. Not chips, chips. As in computer chips. Okay, I've got you now. Well, good, Sparky. Get all the rest you can, man. You've had a rough year. You deserve a break. Now, this makes me a little bit crazy with the bales. Like, they're the most stationary, static thing I've ever seen in my life. And yep, I am not doing a clean bale on any of this field. Oh well, life goes on. Which actually is really rather unlike me. I tend to be kind of stupidly anal retentive about like getting every fart and wrinkle off a field. Like, oh my god, I missed like two blades of grass. I better go back and bale that. Screw it. I don't care. It's been a long week. That's what I keep hearing, Harley. You all like the bad boys. Oh, wait. You're Harley Quinn. Of course you like the bad boys. Joker. Thank you. Well, what am I thinking? A rough couple of years? Yeah, I'll bet, man. I want the baler that we had on PV Uncharted that had the windrower built into it. I want to see that baler come back. That was pretty spectacular. You didn't miss much with that baler. Oh, I think we're finally done baling. Yeah, I like this baler a lot. I liked it even more about 2,000 bales ago. And that's the God's honest truth. Windrower attached to a forage wagon? Yeah, that would be handy. Anything. But we on PV Uncharted, we had an awesome baler. It was a square baler that had a windrower built into it. It was fabulous. And I want to say it's actually based on a real piece of equipment. Too cool. Long-winded. Yeah, it won't be too long before Lifehawk is the #1 chatty person on the server. On the Discord server, I mean. Not that it's a contest. Oh, screw it, I'm done. I'm done with these stupid bales. You know why? Because look. Holy shnikes, Batman. That's more than 2 bales. And I still have to pick all these up before I can go to bed. You are #2, Lifehawk. I've said frequently that Lifehawk is #2. Now the question is, where did I leave my bale? Oh, I know where it is. It's in the barn. I've even got a barn now, guys. A place to store a lot of this equipment. Somebody was saying, I think it was Kevin who was saying, I think the last impromptu, he's like, Harv, you need a place to put all that junk. I've got a place. I've got a harvester now too. Look at that. Oh, Sharko told me an hour and 20 minutes ago that he couldn't hang out because he was going to bed. Fibber. We were literally chatting in voice chat and Discord 2 minutes before I started this stream. He's like, I've got to go to bed, Arv. I'll talk to you later. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You're welcome to jump on if you want to. No, I'm tired. I really need to get to bed. Okay. That's right, sure. Well, you know, I don't drink and farm. At least not in the game. Yeah, but don't get too carried away with the exclamation rank. It clutters things up something horrible. We need to find a special channel just to put those in. Just to ship those off somewhere. We do try to keep things somewhat orderly so you can find what you're looking for. Oh, couldn't sleep. Thank God for the Anderson Bale trailers. That's all I've got to say. The sun went up and down 3 times before you could take a break. Good Lord. That doesn't sound like school. That sounds like torture. Don't get me wrong. I've got all the respect in the world for the military, but... And I understand why they do these kind of things, but still. It sounds pretty torturous to me. Yeah, 31, man. We are rocking and rolling. Sorry to keep you up at night, but I need to get these bales in before the end of September. So that I've got time to let my grass grow up before November. So as I was saying, here's my bale stacks over here. I'll bet. I'm sure it was torture. So that's 24 so far. I am interested to see how many what the final tally is. I'm also interested to see how many I missed, because these guys like to go rolling off into the ether, and I never find them again sometimes. That's why I make them white now, because a lot of times I do this at night. Oh, they'll fit one way or another. I promise you. The last time I did bales, though, I didn't have the sheep, so that's making a bit of a difference. It's kind of handy that they all rolled together like this and like in a nice and neat row. That's true. That's a good point, Sparky. You know, stumps are sneaky, but bales can be sneaky too. While I was baling this field up here, I found a bale that had been sitting since the last time I mowed grass because it snuck off and hid. decided it didn't want to be cattle food. You once bailed on Elm Creek and found it on, do you mean River Port? Do any of you guys get that weird thing in the shop menu where if you've been bailing on a map, the bales start showing up in your shop menu? That happens to me frequently. Good night, Charco. Take care, bud. We will see you on Sunday, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2 of Clarkson Farms. I might have to go back and watch the first season again. I got a big kick out of that, I gotta be honest. And I didn't know who Jeremy Clarkson was before I watched that, so maybe that's why. He seems like the kind of guy people either love or hate. There you go, Sparky. Jeremy Clarkson needs to have Harv on to manage his farm. Not that redheaded kid with the smart mouth, right? No, I actually like that kid. He's pretty. He gives as good as he gets. That's what I like about him. He doesn't take crap off of Clarkson. Oh yeah, Nate. It cracked me up. I mean, I realized a lot of it was just done for silliness and, to make the show funny, but still, nobody can be that ignorant, right? Surely. And no, I won't stop calling you Shirley. I got a lot of wool building up over here too. Oh, and what was do you guys remember the name of the guy who was building the stone fences and you couldn't understand a word that came out of his mouth? It was just like all gibberish. That guy cracked me up too. Yeah, I know Clarkson. I mean, after the fact, I found out that Jeremy Clarkson was famous for doing the racing type shows. What were those called? Grand Tour, something like that. What's your vector, Victor? Lifehawk, do you like gladiator videos? So that's 48 bales so far. See, this is where they always try to hide, right down here. See, here's one that tried to run RUNNOFT. There's another one up here that tried to RUNNOFT. I thought we were making airplane references, Lifehawk. All these Bales tried to RUNNOFT. Come on, please, for the love of God, somebody. Sloppy24, welcome to Harv's World. Glad to have you, man. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Oh, I see, Lifehawk. Actually, Cameron, yes. If you look up Anderson baling equipment, it is a real company, and they in fact do have trailers like this one. And many other. Lifehawk and I were kind of joking about the sausage roller bale wrappers. I have actually seen that in real life. I used to drive the countryside in Indiana, go checking out farms and whatnot, and I did see one of the Anderson constant bale wrappers in use out there. So yes, Anderson is definitely a real company, and these are realistic pieces of equipment. I think that's it. Oh, exactly one more trailer full, so that worked out perfectly. 72. That's right, Lifehawk. No, I've been nervous before. Now, I wish I could say that at this point I could advance to October, but I can't because I've got to go fertilize the grass fields before I can let that happen. And I got to learn how to, I've got to teach myself how to back up again too, by the way. Definitely unique machines, that's for sure. Anderson does things in a way that most other people didn't realize they could do them. Watch out for that fence, Harv. And yes, I will put this crap away later. Have you guys been playing much Seasons in FS22? Anybody? Because I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with Seasons. Just a little bit. Not a big bone, just a little bone. But I do have a bone to pick with Giant's version of Seasons. And that is, I don't find their crop rotations very realistic. Like, why can I only plant wheat for winter wheat? There's also spring wheat. Now, normally I would use a grass roller and automatically, or get free fertilizer and an instant growth stage on this grass, but I don't have time. I've only got 3 hours before midnight to get this done, so I got to do it in a hurry. Yeah, the only issue I have with Giants' version of Seasons is I don't think their crop rotations are what they should be. Otherwise, I think it's a fantastic addition to the game and was needed a long, long time ago. But I really think they need to work on their geos. I mean, in the real world of farming, there is such a thing called double cropping, where you can plant a crop early enough to harvest it and replant a second crop and harvest it in the same year. And wheat would be one of the crops that is most likely to be double cropped. But for some reason, I can only plant wheat in the fall. And luckily, I've got the mega spreader, so doing the fertilizer on this isn't taking long. You can grow tribble food? Well, you told me that tribble food was triticale. And I don't think triticale is one of the crops that was added to FS22, Eric. No, that's good, Lifehawk. Very, very good. I expected as much. You know, the map makers, the mod map makers always do a better job. I mean, it's just a fact of life. We all know it at this point. That's a fair point, Sparky. That is a fair point. They do need to work on the Fent hat. 2 John Deere hats and no Fent hat. OMFGWTF. I'll tell you though, I'll tell you, Sparky, I would give up the battle for the Fent hat if they just fix their broken frickin' maintenance and paint requirements. I mean, you know, I'm pretty positive about the game in general. I think it's a fantastic game. I think Giants did a good job. If you don't, I respect that. I do. But the whole maintenance and paint thing is fundamentally broken to a level that is almost inexcusable. Well, I mentioned it, Eric, on Baler on because I was just making an example of that, of how things in agriculture always have multiple names. And that was the first thing that came to mind. You know, in agriculture, depending on what regional dialect you're dealing with, triticale, I've always known it as triticale, but other people call it triticale, triticale. So I was just using that as an example, but FS22 does not have triticale in it yet. I'm sure some mod map maker will include it. Anybody who doesn't know what triticale is, however, triticale is a grain that was developed, and it's a cross between wheat and rye. More geekified agriculture knowledge that you never wanted to know, straight from Harv. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Oh, just about to get some daylight on this. Yeah, Caveman has been working on the repair cost mod. He's tweaking it because it's one that you have to go in and sort of modify to your needs. It's not like a one-stop shop, at least the one that we're looking at. So our resident mod guru Caveman is looking into working that one up so it makes the whole repair issue much more usable. But honestly, you know, for a new player who doesn't know much about mods or anything like that, I think Giants needs to fix that issue. It's a fundamental factor of the game, and honestly, if you tried to keep up with repair and paint costs in base game, you'd never make any money farming. Never. I don't know for sure, Eric. Any grain, you know, wheat, barley, any cereal grain could be used for brewing. So I would be really surprised if someone hasn't tried to brew a beer using triticale. Anybody ever hear of a rye beer? I know there's rye, like whiskey and rye. Rye is a form of hard alcohol that I've always assumed was made with rye. So if they make it with rye, why not triticale? Definitely a very real possibility. Okay. Hallelujah. This game month is over. Let's get to tomorrow morning. Well, my sheeps have plenty of feed, but I've got another grass bale out there. Personally, I find the way the sheep sleep in this game a little bit disturbing because they actually look rather dead. Wake up. Oh, wait, he's breathing. We're okay. Okay, so this is the plan that I've been working on. So I've got the big field up there on the hill. That big field is all planted in wheat. I own the flour mill now, so I'm producing flour, and I'm just having it sold. And yes, I know I could make a lot more money if I was actually physically delivering it. And I do have a truck to do that, but man, is that time consuming. And I've got wheat in this big field down here on my right also. And then I bought these other 3 fields down here across the railroad tracks. And I'm going to do something crazy. Because there's a lot of acreage down here. This field, that field over there, and this other one directly ahead of me. I'm going to get crazy and I'm going to put cotton down here. But I've got to wait until next year to do it. So I'm going to let these fields sit fallow until next spring. And then this is where I've been keeping all my straw bales. Because I did an awful lot of barley. The flour is used in baking. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, I know a local farmer here that plants triticale to make hay out of. She actually told me, she said, one year they planted triticale and the cows went absolutely crazy over it. Around here they do a lot of beef cattle, and she said the second time they did it, the cows weren't as happy about it, but she thinks they let it grow too long and the hay wasn't quite the right either flavor or consistency, so the cows weren't nearly as excited about it. And then they just replanted it again, so they're hoping for good things. Third time's a charm, right? I'm not sure there's anything to do in October. We might just be skipping forward. Any money to be made? Nothing of any real value. We might go straight to November. Maybe. But first things first. Apparently Lifehawk and Iron Man are going for shawarma. Harv is going to have a quick chat with Mother Nature. Hopefully a very quick chat. So let's see what we can do to to do something here. Cows can't resist Tabasco. That's interesting. Good to know. Oh, let's see here. A little bit of music for you for a few minutes while I run off and take care of business. I'll be right back. I ran the music out. I didn't mean to be gone that long. I'm sorry. I'm back though. I'm back. That song was quite literally the very first song I ever used in any video whatsoever on YouTube. I need to get my eggs out of here. We're going to load them up on this trailer with my other eggs. I'm going to check my crop prices before I pack it in for this month. There's just not crap going on in October. And that's right, I'm using super strength. Although I really don't think egg pallets would be quite this heavy. They'd be bulky though. That'll do. I'm going to do the same thing with my wool. Get it out of the way. And since I'm doing cotton, I'm gonna stock up on wool. I'm not going to get in a hurry to sell it off because I got a plan. Harv got a plan. Oh, did you? You heard everything? I hope she didn't yell too loud. I mean... If you heard anything, it would have been Adolphus Cors. And that's all I've got to say about that. Alright, let's see what I've got. Wheats for my chickens, canola. Oh, that's not a bad price for canola. $22.38. Bandits use rye in making moonshine. Cool. I missed that. Oh, there's the hot sauce comment. Yes. Saw the Doors in concert in '68 at the Watergate. Oh, that's cool, David. That is awesome. That is a great a great story. That's awesome. Welcome back, Chris. You didn't miss anything. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed, David. That's kind of where I'm headed. That's 74,000 liters of canola that I could sell at $22.38 right now. What is my best price on canola? I think it's a lot higher than that though. I'm checking right now. Canola, no, we're about there. $25.99 would kind of be my target. It is going up, but it's not going to go up that much more. I'm selling canola. That's all there is to it. Time to move canola to the train station. So that'll get me something to do in October at least. If I tried to meet with my barber right now, he'd think I was absolutely nuts. He'd say, Harv, why do you want a haircut at 10 p.m.? You, sir, are insane. Go have another one. See me tomorrow. Well, come on, Mr. Cors, do your job. Yeah, I know what the Watergate Hotel is, David. That's what was so cool about it. I mean, not only did you get to see a great band, you got to see it at a location that is infamous. That's pretty spectacular, man. Have you guys been using the trains much at all? I find the trains kind of interesting. I kind of like what they've done with them. It does simplify trains quite a bit. Fair enough, Chris. Fair enough. Caveman gets annoyed by the fact that you have to pay to lease the train to haul your goods. I'm like, well, it makes a certain amount of sense. It's not that expensive. They could have made it $10,000. It's only $1,000. So I don't know. I don't mind it. I kind of like the way the trains work now. Just load your stuff up and ship it off the map. There were some interesting uses of trains in 19. The first map I played seriously for Let's Play videos was Pacific Northwest, and I thought they did a really good creative use of trains on that particular map. But that's pretty few and far between. Oh, your wife cuts your hair. I think the statement still applies, Chris. Pay as good as you do, and they cut your hair whenever you want them to. That may not be a fair assessment. Maybe Chris's wife makes 3 times what he does, and still cuts his hair. And yeah, I know I could turn this canola into oil and make more money, but I've got other industrial plans. No trains, no birds. I don't mind. Well, I'm kind of a train geek anyway. I may have been known to stop in a town at a historic railroad station just to take pictures. In fact, if you ever have the opportunity, I suggest looking up the train station in Boise, Idaho. They've got a fantastic old big boy parked out behind it, but the train station there is pretty fabulous. Alright, let's go for a ride on the train. The train is 800 meters away. Oh, I don't think I ever played Red River Valley, David. You know, it's kind of funny. I kind of get sick of my hair, and so there are times when I just want to take my beard trimmer and run it over my head and be done with it forever. There he comes. Now, one of the things that Oxygen David did on Chellington Valley, which I thought was pretty spectacular, was he had a train track, and it wasn't a functional train. Like, you could not use it for anything, but it had a commercial passenger line that would come by occasionally, but then there were other times when a historic steam engine would come through with the train. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not even going to ask, Lifehawk. I don't want to know about the gravy you're talking about. Not at all. Oh, you talking about Pacific Northwest, David? Yeah, that was West Central Idaho is where that map is based. And I lived in Idaho for about 15 years. Still miss it. Idaho is a great, great state. Um, around the Lewiston, Idaho area is where Pacific Northwest is focused, according to the map maker anyway. And I thought it was extremely well done. So all you got to do is load your train, let it run the track, and eventually you're going to get to a point where it says, do you want to sell your stuff when it gets to Felsbrunn? And you click yes. And I just sold all of my canola for $167,185. And I'll hop back over to my farm. Oh, and I got to hop back over to my Fendt and bring it back up to the farm. Because it's still sitting here running. Oops. Good canola. Good canola harvest. I'm not too far away from breaking away from grass bales, thank God. And technically I could harvest grass again in November, but I'm not gonna. I'm just looking for a good silage price now so I can get rid of the bales that I have. Silage and straw. I've got a lot of silage and a lot of straw to sell. Speaking of which, yep, silage isn't quite there yet, and straw is not bad, but I'm going to wait. Alright, let's see what November has to hold. Has in store for us, I should say. Oh, David, you're right. You're right. Red River Valley. I played that for 2 or 3 hours. I never really got a chance to get back to it. Straw peaked and is not bad. Silage is crap. It's November. Are there any decent contracts? Not particularly. Nope. 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 Let's just shuffle right on to December. Yeah, Red River was an impromptu that I did. A couple of impromptus that I did when I was first started throwing in impromptus. That's right. Yeah, you had to cross the Canadian border on that map, which was kind of a cool little feature. Alright, let's check our prices again. Oh, silage is moving up. And this is saying that's our best price. I'm not convinced. I think January is going to do us better. Where's our straw at, though? 132 and climbing. I'm not going to go a full month, but I'm going to see. Oh, that's not a bad... No. Actually, it is bad. Okay. Never mind. Yep, you're right, David. You're right. You got me on that one. So we're going to jump forward to about 4 p.m. How about 6 p.m.? Let's see where our silage and straw is at. Oh, 158. I'm selling straw. I am selling straw right now. And I got way carried away, but life goes on. 158 is a heck of a price for straw, so I'm getting rid of my straw bales. Don't turn your nose up at straw bales. You can make a good chunk of money with straw. It's a nice bonus to whatever you make off of wheat, barley, or oats. Especially oats. And I don't know why I've got this straw bale here, but I do, and I want to make sure I take it with me. Yeah, David, I saw that. It's based on a spreadsheet that I have a copy of also. I was actually just looking at that a minute ago to see the best pricing. I don't have the link to the website. The website is much more convenient though, and I will be adding that to my repertoire here very, very soon. Red and green line. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me get a full Bale load here, and I will we'll take a look at those. My understanding is that their historical pricing. So, like for my silage, I can see my pricing. If I go to show price fluctuations, this is telling me that in December is my best price. That's not necessarily the truth, it's just the historic truth. And the red and green lines mean that, to my understanding, this is the range of prices that silage has sold for in any given month. I'm not going to tell you I know the difference between red and green, but it seems to be a price range to me. So it could be somewhere in between. Now, I personally don't care for their particular price fluctuation chart there because I think it's far, far, far too shallow. Any farmer who's been farming straw, any crop whatsoever, is going to have the actual numbers, the historic pricing of that particular crop. They're going to know how much they sold their crop for in any given year. Any commodities, broker, chart, whatever you want to call it, is going to have physical numbers to show you exactly what prices, what target prices are, and things like that. So I don't find that particular aspect useful other than they should have just said you can get your best price in January. And it would have been just as helpful. Yeah, exactly, Lifehawk. I mean, that's the best it is. It's a guide. And really, the only thing it really, in any valuable information it even remotely gives you is simply this is the best month to sell your crop. That's the only value that it has as far as I can see. And they might as well have just changed the price fluctuations to best month to sell your crop. Because it would have done the same bloody thing. And yeah, I'm cutting through this field. Right there, one load of straw, 42,000. Do not underestimate the power of the straw. The straw shall be with you. Yes. Yeah, and I get that too, cool. They kind of make it clear as mud. But, I'm not really exaggerating when I say that particular tool has very little, if any, value whatsoever in helping you make your sale determinations, except for sell in this month. I am wrecking my lovely straw bale piles here. Hey Graham, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm just selling straw at the moment. Nothing terribly dramatic. Unfortunately, the straw price hit, well, I advanced time a little bit too quickly. That was a nice mod, Eric, actually, from in 19, the straw from contracts mod. I've heard a lot of people say this. They wish they would do that with stones on FS22. People want to collect those rocks. Especially now that mods have come out where you can turn the rocks into lime. I'm not sure I'm as concerned about that as I wish that I could just have different types of contracts to do. Why don't we have stone collecting contracts? Why don't we have mulching or rolling contracts? If we've got to do that on our own fields, surely other farmers in our area are doing the same thing. Yeah, and that's absolutely true, David. Keep on top of your prices. That actually reminds me. I always forget to check the used equipment. I'm not seeing anything I can't live without. Although that quad track is awfully nice. I don't need a bigger tractor right now, though. Hey, Marvin Wise. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you with us. Thank you for dropping in. Just a casual Friday. Baling silage and selling straw so far. Oh, and I sold a lot of canola. I'm actually making pretty darn good money this stream. And I've still got well over 100 silage bales to sell. And that's absolutely true too, David. Yeah, you know, avoiding the damage with the rocks. It's a fair point, especially I was just complaining earlier about how broken the whole damage and paint thing is. So getting those rocks out of the way is kind of important these days. Now with a little bit of luck, this will be another 42 grand. Fingers crossed. Oh, there we go. That's 84,000 in straw so far. Oh, okay. Well, oilseed radish, I'll tell you. I mean, oilseed is in FS22, I mean, it has limited uses in FS19 or FS22. The only time I would use oilseed radish in FS22 is if I had a field that I couldn't put a mulching state on to get that extra 2% or 3%, whatever it was, I can't remember now. 2 or 3% yield bonus. I would throw in some oilseed radish, let it grow for a month, and then use that as my mulch. It will give you a free fertilizer state, however, so you have some options there. Or, you know, if you're going to do like a little bit of role play with an organic farm or something like that, oilseed radish would be a good alternative. Any crop will do the same thing as oilseed radish does. It's just cheaper to put oilseed in than other crops. Hey Graham, how are you, man? Hoping the terraform mod would would let you get rid of those rocks. No such luck. Oh, that's right, because the landscape mod doesn't remove cropland anymore, does it? So you could use more functions in the landscape tool without destroying your cropland. Hey, Killer Films, how you doing, man? How's life treating you? Yeah, that happens frequently, Marvin. I get that all the time on my fields because I either missed a little tiny bit when I was harvesting, so I got a little bit of extra somewhere, or something along those lines, and it just doesn't quite work and play the way I want it to. I just usually ignore it. And I'm an anal retentive fool on some of that stuff sometimes. I was just saying earlier, like, I used to be so bad that, like, every speck of grass on a field, if I missed 2 blades of grass when I was making silage bales, I was like, I've got to go back and get that. But it's not affecting your yield that much to have a few spots that don't have 2 coats of fertilizer on it. So I wouldn't give it too much thought, but it's your game. Play it your way. Graham, on the third map, is there any way to get rid of the rocks? Which third map are you talking about? Are you talking about this one, the Ehrlengrat? Or are you talking about one of the mod map like No Man's Land? Anytime you have the opportunity to get rid of. Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, one thing that you can do that's not out of the question. If you don't like the rocks, you can turn them off. But the caveat to that is you have to collect them first to get them out of the way and then turn them off. Like, I'm not playing with stones on this particular map. While I realized that the stone collecting can be beneficial, I knew I was going to be doing some bigger large scale farming, and frankly the stone collectors are so incredibly tiny. Although I will tell you a little bit of a secret, if you didn't know already, and I'm sure you do. If you want to play with the stones on and you don't care about the stones or how much you collect, if you let a helper do that job, they will keep collecting. They don't care if their stone collector gets full or not. They will just keep collecting stones. So you can pretty much ignore. See, I've just made over $100,000 on straw. That was 42 times 3. That's $126,000 in straw. Just in the straw. Do not underestimate your straw, folks. Don't chop it. Sell that crap. Make some cash. Oh, I see, Graham. So, yeah, this is Ehrlengrat. This is the same map that you're talking about. No. So, like on No Man's Land by Alien Jim, which, as of right now, on ModHub anyway, is the only mod map available. Alien Jim has built in a method to hide or delete the rocks on his map. That is strictly a map maker's choice. It's not something that Giants offers. And so it's not on the Ehrlengrat map at all. And we do not have a map objects hider for FS22 yet, which I loved the map objects hider for FS19. That was a great mod, especially for content creators or people who wanted to alter maps without having to go into Blender and do all of that extra garbage. You could just point at something. If it was an object, you could hide it. If you ever played on Ravenport and you had that big stupid junkyard in the middle of your starting farm, there was no way to get rid of it. The map objects hider would get rid of it. I deleted a whole sawmill on the Wilhelmina Forest with the map objects hider. It's still there. I could bring it back anytime I want to. That's the other cool thing about the map objects hider in FS19. You can always bring that stuff back. But for my Off the Grid series, I knew I needed to get rid of the sawmill, and I did it with nothing more than a mod. But unfortunately, we are not there yet on FS22. We're a lot farther along the mod path than I thought we would be at this stage, though. I mean, we're not even a full 2 months into the game yet, and we've got dozens, if not hundreds, of mods available to us already. And I'm not just talking about the PC players. The Mod Hub has many, many, many mods available for console now as well. $140,000 on straw. All right, Sparky, you have a good night, man. Take care, buddy. Yeah, I know. Harv gets really long-winded and soapboxy sometimes. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And he can't back up to save his life sometimes either, even though I did a whole video on backing. How to back up. Not like this. Marvin, very cool. You brought the junk car back inside your house. Nice. Reminds me of home. Honey, I'm home. I hope you don't mind. I brought home a pet. Well, okay, it's not a pet. It's a 1962 Dodge that's more rust than metal, but I can fix her. I can fix her right up, I promise you. Well, I do that a lot, Lifehawk. I install mods that I might use sometime in the future. If I get around to it, that's awesome. If I don't, so be it. That's especially true of my Off the Grid series. I mean, that series required so much building that any mod that looked like it could build anything remotely decent, I was latching on to. Oh, I think I need to load more eggs. Oh my god, yes, I need to load a lot of eggs. I should have checked my egg prices. And yeah, I usually get a lot more anal about arranging these, but I'm not going to get too picky about it right now. Alright, that'll take care of that. I'll check our wool because apparently the sheep are getting a little bit, yeah, the sheep aren't exactly sitting around doing nothing. Oh, get out of the way. There we go. I have not done multiple multiple harvesters using course plate. I know how to do it. I just have never had the opportunity. If you've ever ever watched my series, and I know you've watched everything, Eric. You are adamant about watching just about everything I do. I don't do large scale farming usually. I'm usually doing the smaller stuff. So I never got around to anything that I would need to run 2 harvesters at a time. Actually, I want to check the egg price now that I'm thinking about the eggs over there. Eggs. There they are. 4,005. That's not bad for eggs. I don't think axle lock is a thing quite yet in FS22 though. Why am I having such a hard time finding the word eggs? Oh, if I'm going to sell eggs, I better sell them now. Okay. I guess I'm doing one more run to sell my eggs at the supermarket. Assuming I can find where I just left my tractor. Oh, that's right. Because I'm not going to have a price this high until next year again, so I kind of missed the window of opportunity on eggs because I wasn't paying attention. I'm still making 4,000. So I should have another $120,000 worth of eggs here. Fingers crossed. Toes, eyes, lips, legs, arms, antlers. Ah, you would think so, Lifehawk. Honestly, I just let them build up until I think they're ready to sell. I've got 30,000 liters. That's not shabby. And yeah, this probably isn't the best way to do this, but life goes on. There you go, eyelashes. Well, there was 97,000. No, I've managed to wedge myself in here. There's another 8. Hopefully that'll take care of the rest of them. Almost. There's just like a tiny little itty bitty bit. There it goes. Alright. Eggs done. When did life goes on become a statement for you? Long before I ever knew you were a thing. Long before I ever knew you were a thing. Okay, long before I knew you were a person. That's kind of one of those things that teenagers say. You know, how indifferent teenagers can be to everything. They're like, oh well, life goes on, doesn't it? It's a throwback. Right, Marvin? That's absolutely right. Only in Farm Sim can you let eggs sit out and let them build up so that you can have that many to sell without some kind of refrigeration or storage of some kind. Alright, let's see what January has in store, shall we? Apparently January has snow in store. Okay, so all I've got left now is silage. Not a great price. Not a great price at all. 538 is not horrible, but it's not great. What I am going to do, though, is at least get a trailer loaded and ready to go. And I don't want to sell at the biogas plant because, frankly, the biogas plant will not handle the amount of silage I have. I think I might just sell it anyway, though, to prep for my ultimate goal of cotton. You cook a lot of eggs. Are you a short order cook, Marvin? Because I'll tell you what, I could use a good short order cook. Just, you know, for my own breakfast needs. I think Lifehawk, we should just have a cross between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Farm Sim 22. Arthur Morgan grows wheat and raises chickens. No, nothing wrong with that. I love Waffle House. Waffle House and Denny's. Two places there's nothing better at 3 o'clock in the morning after the bars close. Alright, I want to know about the free range animal pasture mods. Where are those at? I need to know about those. Personally, I prefer that kind of concept. You know what? I'm not even going to hassle with it. I'm selling my bloody silage at 534. Come home smelling like bacon. You know, bacon is the fairy dust of the food world, right? You can put bacon on anything and make it better. And yes, I totally stole that from a comedian, but it's too good not to steal. I believe it was Jim Gaffigan was the comedian who did the bacon is the fairy dust of the food world shtick. Yeah, 72,000 a trailer load. I'll take that. I'll be all sold off and ready for spring. And I already know what spring has in store. So you guys got any big plans for the weekend? I do not. I will get up tomorrow morning. I will edit the next episode of Off the Grid, which I will tell you is a transitional episode getting ready for future events. Still has good information in it, though. I think it'll be alright. Then I will edit a second video to prepare for Sunday's stream. Then I will record how Hote Baler on and edit that. I've got a long day of YouTube ahead of me tomorrow. No one can show up. That seems like a common theme these days. Nobody can show up to work. You hear that all the time. You can't find anybody who wants to work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Lifehawk. Anybody who knows Lifehawk, he's a very, very social person. He comes across as very standoffish, but without other people around, he would actually go absolutely insane. So, I understand how difficult that would be for you. I don't know. I'm not seeing the light flick. Yeah, I do see it now. I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. Anybody have an insight into that? Story of my life, Lifehawk. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have anybody to hang out with on Friday nights. You guys and Adolphus Coors. Hey, no worries, Marvin. We need more. It's the chat that keeps me going. Well, I mean, literally, like I can't think of everything to talk about for a 3-hour period. I need you guys to give me something to prattle on about from time to time. It's not much fun doing a stream where nobody's being chatty. Okay, it's still kind of fun, but it helps a lot when you guys are chatty. That's been a problem since release, actually. Saving the game and then quitting, the game has crashed more often than it actually restarted. There is an awful lot of light flicker, isn't there? I hope nobody has... Oh, what's that causes people to have seizures because of flickering lights? This is my disclaimer about that right now. And no jokes intended. Alright, there's another 70,000, 72,000 almost. And I've got another good 3 bales trailers to haul. Stephen Wright was always one of my favorites, Lifehawk. I love Stephen Wright. He cracks me up. That's it, Marvin. Thank you. Yes, epilepsy is the one that unfortunately gets seizures from flickering light sometimes. Yeah, that's flickering pretty badly. I might have to see about adjusting some settings. Solus B, thank you for jumping in. After patch 1.2, I was getting the crashes like immediately. Like the game just would not restart. Stephen Wright was brilliant. My favorite joke from Stephen Wright is simple. It's so simple, and it totally caught me off guard. But it's one of the funniest things I ever heard. Was one question. What's another word for thesaurus? Dirty Bird Farms. Hello, how are you? I think I actually feel like 22 has kind of forced loans on people, and it's a seasonal thing. It's a lot harder to make money, or it feels like a lot harder to make money until you really get up and running. So taking loans early on becomes almost necessary. Oh, I see, David. That's a possibility. Um, I have dual monitors. Dual monitors, Marvin. I've got a 28-inch that I play on, and I've got a 24-inch that I run the stream and everything else on. On the Discord, there's actually a picture of my setup. It's not nearly as impressive as a lot of streamers. You know, if you're on there looking for a lot of flashing neon lights and all of that crap, no, that's not Harv's system. Harv runs it clean and basic. Yeah, you were saying the other day too, Cool, about how much you're loving the Oculus. Oh, I saw that mod come out. That mod came out recently, right? It was like this last week where you could up the loans to $10 million. Because I know the loans are capped pretty stiff now. I have run into that on our Elm Creek streams. Was I was hoping I could take out more of a loan, and I was like, dope, they won't let me. Oh, okay. 60 or a 65-inch 4K TV. Wow. Harv is kind of powered by a hamster, and I'll tell you what. Harv actually is in pretty desperate need these days of a PC upgrade, and I've been looking into that. And there ain't no way Harvard can afford a PC upgrade right now. Like, it's not going to happen. And we're talking for what I need, and this is based on Caveman and Sharko's recommendations. And if you guys pay attention, Caveman and Sharko, you know, they are the tech gurus. Those guys like get into all of it. But it would cost between $4,000 and $6,000 to buy the machine that I would really need to keep things progressing the way I want to. So I'm just going to have to keep making do with what I've got. Because there is no bloody way Harv can come up with that kind of cash. None whatsoever. I really sincerely hope that nothing goes down on my system. And it's a good 3, pushing probably 4 years old at this point. But that's all I can do is keep hoping it keeps running, because PC prices have just gotten stupid. Totally stupid. Well, that's kind of where I'm at, Dirty Bird. Like, why do I need all of that LED crap on a system that sits under my desk that you can't even see? I don't look at it. It just sits there, so... Yeah, and I came at it from a, you know, when I started this, my PC was reasonably new, and I'm a year and a half, starting to move closer to the 2-year mark, and just things have progressed during that time, and I haven't kept up. And my system was fine for a gamer. It did everything I needed it to do, and it did it fine. But now that I'm doing so many more things at the same time, running the game, hosting servers, running Discord, and running the streaming software all at the same time, my system is a little bit weak, especially with FS22 coming out, having much higher requirements. So, you know, it's a little bit different. And you're absolutely right, Bandit. Video cards are just ridiculous now. Just absolutely outrageous. Yeah, exactly, Dirty Bird. That's just the kind of stuff that the young folks, the young folks, um, like to see. You know, let's get some LEDs in there. And I've had a PC with plenty of LED. My RAM had LEDs on it, but I never saw it. And when I upgraded RAM, no, I wasn't going to pay the extra price for the LED, the LED RAM, because the box literally sits under my desk. I mean, it's not on camera, nobody's seeing it, so why bother? 98% full on 3 terabyte drives. Holy crap, dude! What are you are you doing like a whole media server where you've got like 1,000 movies or what? That's a lot. Yeah, it's all for show, Lifehawk. I agree with you. LEDs are just there for flat. It's to invite your friends over so they can go, oh, dude, that's totally cool, man. That's a boss setup you've got. That is totally awesome, bud. And there are streamers that need that kind of a setup. They really do. Because that's the audience that they're selling to. Well, obviously, that's not an old crotchety fart like Harv. You know what I'm saying? Of course you know what I'm saying. Oh, nice, Marvin. Well, that's like my buddy Caveman, and he's a close friend, and he's helped me out so much over the last year or so. He's got an amazing machine that he just bought, and it makes mine look like that 62 Dodge that you've got parked in your living room that you promised your wife you would fix up. But he uses it for a multitude of things. It's not just a gaming machine. He's building mods. He's a crypto miner. He likes to do the crypto mining it's more of a hobby thing for him. It's not just jump in and do it full time or anything, but he's utilizing all of that expense. Absolutely soulless. Here's to the old guys. You're all over it, Dirty Bird, and that's exactly right. I mean, they're not bad cards. Actually, I'm running a GTX 1060, and I could actually sell this card for a pretty good price because, from what I've been told, it's a very good mining card. The 10 series NVIDIA cards are some of the best cards for crypto mining. But it's not like I can, sell the card and wait to buy a new card. I've got to have a card. So, it's a catch-22. We're not old. We are seasoned. Seasoned veterans of this dog-eat-dog world. And I guarantee you, we all hold our liquor better than a lot of these young pups do. Too cool? No, I'm going to walk all over your lawn. And you just better get used to it. Sorry, not sorry. Well, to some degree that's true, Eric. But I don't blame the card manufacturers. I actually blame the crypto miners. No offense to Caveman, he's a hobbyist. But it's really the crypto miners that have driven PC prices and especially video card prices skyrocketing and stupidly expensive. And I think with this Bale sell-off, I'm going to have the money I need to get into my cotton that I wanted to do. Two more trailer loads and I'm done. You don't have a lawn, only a pool? Yeah, but from what everybody said, he's got an incredibly hot wife, so he can have whatever he wants. He's already got the big prize. I mean, everything else is just stuff. It's the people that matter, right? Like, I could have a $7,000 gaming machine, but what good would that $7,000 gaming machine be without all of you guys? It would just be me sitting here with a $7,000 piece of hardware. And I do that every time I get into my car, so I think you get the point. That's, that's something that a lot of people don't get, and they should, in my opinion. I'm going to soapbox for a second, so get ready. Stuff is just stuff. Now, it might bring you joy or pride or whatever for a certain amount of time, but in the long run, it's not going to love you back. It's not going to take care of you. It's not going to show you any affection, thoughtfulness, or consideration. Your stuff is just stuff, and 90% of it is just tools that help you get through your life a little bit easier sometimes. But it's the people that make the stuff worthwhile. Because stuff without people is just stuff. People without stuff are what really matters. The people who love you when you have nothing are the people who are really those who care. All right, soapbox off. That's a fair point, Marvin. Is it a Stepford wife? Dirty Bird, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, the problem we're going to run into now is the card makers have discovered that people will pay $1,500 for a $300 video card. And so they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep those card prices as high as possible. Well, let's see. I just cracked open my 7th banquet. I've got one more load of silage bales to sell. And I didn't even harvest all of the bales I could have gotten off these fields this year. And I've got over $1 million. I think I'm good for cotton. When can I plant cotton anyway? March. And only in March. Oh, wait. Wait. I can plant in February. I could plant cotton next month. Ooh, yes, we're going to be doing that. That's exactly right, Dirty Bird. Well, and they keep talking about how it's a big silicone shortage or silicone chip shortage, and how, setting up some plants to build these silicone chips takes years, 2 or 3 years to get one plant operational. So the demand, and you're seeing, and it's got a real serious trickle-down effect, because you're seeing car prices go through the roof. Even used car prices now are going through the roof, because you can't get a reasonable price on a new car, because the manufacturers can't even finish the cars they're building because they don't have the chips to put in them anymore. Somebody figured out that silicone-based microchips had become the cornerstone of so much manufacturing that if they created a supply and demand issue, they could make a buttload of money, and that's exactly what they did. Well, that's exactly what they did. That's right, 7. I just cracked it, though. I just took the first drink off of it, so... And it's been 3 hours. So 7 in 3 hours isn't bad. Two beers an hour, basically. Potato, Eric. Tomato. Silicon. It's Silicon Valley. It's silicone. Is the stuff they make. Thank God, all of the bales are sold. Although the sitcom on HBO for a while called Silicon Valley was pretty funny. I got a kick out of it for a couple of seasons. I'm not going to say it was the best thing I ever watched, but it was pretty good. Cotton harvest or cotton whatever, here we come. Cotton supplemented with wool. There we go. Cotton, baby. Cotton for the win. Oh yeah, I even own a big Kinsey planter now. I have not fooled around with my money. At least I could make like millions of dollars in Farm Sim. I need to find a way to do that in like the real world and stuff. And I'm not going to merge these fields yet. I probably should, but I'm not going to do it yet. Yep, I'm just getting set up for February. Chips and vaccines. We're not going there. We are not bringing politics into Harv's world. That's one of my most adamant rules. No politics. No religion. Everybody's got their beliefs. They are absolutely entitled to them. I will absolutely respect them. But keep them to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, guys, that was a long impromptu stream, and I'm happy to do it. It's been a good time. We've had some good conversation. I appreciate you guys coming along. It was fun. Got to meet some new people that I haven't seen in stream before. Dirty Bird, Marvin, I'm looking at you two especially. But for now, I think that's going to do it for a Friday night. If you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to hit the like button down below. No worries, Marvin. Don't even worry about it, man. Don't even sweat it. I'm just laying down a couple of rules. That's all. No worries, man. It's been a good time, and I appreciate having you guys here. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for me. As always, I very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. Until next time, take care.